First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us this evening, this afternoon, or this morning, depending where in the world you are, and for welcoming all of us into your homes and hopefully your wine glasses. For those of you I don't know, I'm Ken Catandella, Senior Executive Director of University Relations and the Columbia Alumni Association, and one of the co-founders of the Columbia Alumni Association Wine Industry Network. And over the course of the last 16 months, the Wine Industry Network has done over 100 virtual wine events throughout the world. And tonight, however, is the first time that we've brought together so many members of the network. Those of you who normally attend this reunion in person will know that Saturday early evening is when we do the all-class wine tasting under that big tent on the steps of Low Library. So in lieu of that, we brought many of the winemakers and winery owners whose wines we showcase each year into your homes. So before we get started with our little bit of a presentation, I would like to introduce each of our winemakers. And so I'm going to start with those that are undergraduate alums. So first from Sonoma, that's actually my first stop every year, and every visit to Sonoma, Bogline Vineyards, Brent Bessire. Brent?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming tonight.
Great. And representing the other college, as my wife says, the college, Barnard, is Christina Turley from Turley. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Cheers, everybody.
And those of you that know Turley know that they are the fabled gold standard for Zinfandel. So we're really happy to have you. And next, dividing his time between Italy and New York, the producer of Altaneve, the world's great Prosecco, is David Noto. David, welcome.
Cheers.
And then from a real slice of heaven, also in Italy, in Montepulciano and Salcetto, which Ron Prasker from the Business School, and congratulations on that 96 rating.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Nice to be here, thank you.
And then representing Share a Splash, Yoav Galat, the president and founder, who could not be with us because he was whisked away for a surprise birthday, is his sales manager and a wonderful partner of Share a Splash, Jennifer Cuke. Nice to see you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Cheers, everybody.
And then last but not least, Michael Fogelman and Lisa Libertini from a certain destination when you're in Santa Barbara, from Sweetser Cellars. Good to see you, both Michael and Lisa.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, so happy to be here.
Okay, and then what I would like to do is bring on my two fellow panelists for this evening, and they cover a lot of our different undergraduate schools. So first is Sarah Goller, and Sarah is a SEAS alum, and she also did postdoc work back here at Columbia before deciding that being a physicist was not as inspiring as becoming the wine director and co-owner of a farm-to-table restaurant and raw wine bar, natural wine bar in Inwood. So if you ever find yourself in the northernmost environs of Manhattan, it is a destination. And then a true blue Columbian, Amy Chang, is a owner of Nine Sons, which is a winery in Pritchard Hill and Napa. And Amy is a Graduate School of Architecture, Preservation, and Planning alum, but it is a family business, and her brother Jason is an alum of Columbia College, and her father is a engineering alum. So welcome to the two of you. I'm going to ask Freya to stop sharing her screen with us, if you don't mind. Thank you. So I'm glad to have the two of you here and to help me do a little bit around the art of tasting. And one of the reasons, obviously, that I have the two of you is your connections to Columbia. But the most important reason is that you both have such an easy and approachable manner to talking about wine. And so that's what we want to do, is just make this really fun for everybody. So, and I want all of you to know, we're not going to do a lot of Q&A, because what we want you to do is go and visit all of our winemakers in the breakouts afterwards, and they will share their stories with you. But and every one of them has a very interesting story, because with few exceptions, most people don't go into the first grade, what I want to be when I grow up, and say I want to be in the wine trade. So, let me start with you, Amy. How did you, very briefly, how did you end up where you are at Nine Sons?
Hi, everyone. Happy reunion to all of you. Thanks for having me, Ken. So I am an architect, and I was drawn into our family vineyard business in Napa when we decided to start making wine and selling wine. So I kind of got folded into the project, developing the brand identity and in the design and construction of our new production and tasting room facility. And we're just a team of three. It's myself, my brother and sister-in-law, and then our winemaker. So 3 family members and our winemaker. So then it sort of was like, well, can you do the bookkeeping? And I ended up going back to school and getting an MBA in wine business at Sonoma State. So now I'm the director of finance and compliance and design at our family winery and vineyard business.
Great, thank you. And it is aesthetically one of the most beautiful wineries in the world. It really is. Sarah.
Hi, all of you. If you ever get a chance to meet Amy or Ken, they're amazing. So don't miss out. I kind of came into food and wine because as a young child, when I was in elementary school, my mother had breast cancer. And we had some upstairs neighbors who were like, my mom needs a break. And so they had cooking lessons where we cooked for my mom every Tuesday night from like elementary school on, and it went all the way through college. And then I went to graduate school and took it with me and just fell in love with everything food and wine, and came back and started doing research and realized that I think I still really love food and wine, and moved into working on wine.
Great, thank you. So first question that this is my third one of these this week, and the first question we're getting is, what are you drinking for the summer? So Sarah, I'm going to start with you on this one.
So I'm really drinking a lot of Greek and Hungarian wine, and also Chilean wine. We have this great bottle from Greece. It's an organic winery and this bottle was Roditis. It's empty, so clearly it was very good. And I think that looking at regions which are lesser well known gives you the opportunity to get really high quality wines that cost a lot less. So I would check out Greece, Hungary, Chile. Yeah.
Okay, good. Amy.
Okay, so this summer, I am drinking low alcohol rosé wines, hopefully at a bar. It's been a long time. A fave of mine right now, and Sarah pointed out, and I checked this, I think it's like the second most popular wine right now in the United States, is the Las Jaras Super Bloom. It's a rosé made from a blend of red and white Rhone varietals. But they source from organic vineyards in the Sierra foothills, really close to Yosemite National Park. Again, I really like low alcohol wines in the summer. This one's below 11%, so truly like summer water. But I'll put the name in the chat.
Great. And I am working my way through Columbia winemaker rosés. So that has been my mission since I started thinking that, okay, summer is here. In fact, all those wines behind me are all produced by members of the Columbia Alumni Association Wine Industry Network. And every single person here this evening has at least one wine on my shelf here. But in addition to, once I get through all those rosés, and I'm getting close, I'm spending the summer on skin contact wines, so orange wines. And I'm finding those to be really exciting. But I will tell you, if you have the opportunity when you visit the breakouts to ask all of these winemakers about the rosés they're making, I can attest that having had them all, they're really high quality. So that is what I'm drinking. And I want to just give a nod to Amy for turning me on to the rosés from the Canary Islands. Really loving those, really loving those. And Sarah for instilling confidence, instilling confidence in Greek wines. So when I go to visit my sister-in-law and brother-in-law in Greece this summer, I can go feeling good about the Vino experience there. So one of the things that we want to do is take you through the 5 elements of tasting wine. And those, and an easy way of thinking about them are what some people call the 5 S's. So see, swirl, smell, sip, and savor. And I will tell you when we get to the 4th element, if you're going to experience this along with us, please take your glass and do not put it anywhere near the keyboard, and don't lean over the keyboard. More than one person has not made it to the savor because they have spit, unfortunately. So that's just a warning. So let's start with C. So Sarah, you
So you can learn a lot just simply from looking at the wine. Obviously you can tell if it's like red or white, but you might not easily be able to tell if it's rosé or an orange or skin contact wine because they can have very similar color. But you can also tell if a wine has been filtered or if it's unfiltered because it'll be more cloudy. There'll be little particles that are visible in it. You can also sometimes tell the age of a wine. It's a little bit difficult to see that, but if you have a white sheet, when you look at the part of your wine that is very thin in terms of thickness, you can see that in older wines, if you have a white wine, it'll often go kind of brownish or more darker in color. And that's probably because it's oxidized. And if you have a red wine, the same thing happens around the edge and it'll go slightly more brown, kind of brickish color. And that kind of can give you an indication of the age of your wine. So it can tell you a lot about the wine that's in your glass, even if you don't know what's there. And if you do even know what wine you do have in your glass, if you know it's a Pinot Noir and the color looks really, really, really light, like more than you expect, it might be pressed and immediately taken off the skins, which would make it a rosé. But you could also have a wine that has undergone a different kind of fermentation process where you have carbonic maceration. So the grapes ferment inside and pop open, and that creates more delicate wines and less color. So there's a lot of information that you can get just simply from looking at the wine, even before you start swirling it and smelling it and all the other fun stuff.
Great. So we move on to swirl, and Amy.
All right, so the swirl is really giving the wine some air. And when we swirl the wine in a glass, it causes the alcohol to evaporate a bit and then release aromas to the nose. So we're all familiar with what the tongue can taste, you know, bitter, salty, sour, these kind of flavors. But our olfactory senses can actually tell us a lot more in a much broader range about the aromas specific to wine. So some examples of that might be if it's, you know, the fruit, minerality, florals, earthiness, woodsiness, these types of characteristics. Swirling also tells us a little bit about the wine's properties. So when you swirl, you'll get viscous streaks on the sides of the glass that will remain there. And those are called the wine's legs. So dense wines, which are full of tannins and sugars, are more viscous. So you're going to see that more often. I have a white wine, so you know that's not something I'm going to see so much right now. Of course, the most important part about swirling is how you look when you do it. Kind of joking, but it's quite difficult to do. So I would say that if you have stemware, a larger bowl on your stemware is going to make it easier to swirl. If you're starting out, a surefire way to not spill your wine when you're swirling is just to rest the base on a surface. And what you want to make sure you do is you don't want to hold the stem here. So if you have a delicate stem, while you're swirling on a surface, it could snap the stem in half. So that's not good. So what you want to do is sort of hold it at the base and then just move it in a circle on your surface. And so, you know, that way you can feel a little bit more comfortable in practicing before you sort of hold it in your hand and swirl. I still swirl on a surface. So there you go.
Okay. I'll take the third S, which is smell. And one of the things that I encourage everyone to do is really get into your glass. Really, you know, understand. And this really is the most important element in tasting wine. As Amy alluded to, the olfactory sense really is the way in which you experience tasting. In fact, there's a Columbia neurobiologist, Stuart Firestein, who has done a lot of work in wine and the olfactory sense. And in fact, he has been working with a couple of winemakers who have lost the sense of taste to create olfactory memory, because that, you know, once you begin to understand wines and the nuances of wine by aroma, the experience is that much, it's that much deeper, it's that much more significant. So that's why, you know, I took the third one. And then now on to the sip. And this is Sarah.
So a lot of people that drink wine professionally, they draw in some air and it sounds very annoying. If you do that, I would recommend that you do it only once, because it's not nice to be around after the first time. But the purpose of it is actually to aerate the wine in your mouth. So you coat your tongue and then you aerate the wine that's in your mouth, and then that creates a different sensation and releases other aromatic profiles that you can sort of get like retroactively through your nose. And you can learn a lot from sipping the wine. If you have a wine that is a red wine or an orange wine, which is a skin contact wine, so a white wine that's spent times on the skin, and this creates a tannic profile. Both red and skin contact wines have tannins, which are the molecules that dry out your mouth. You can also observe that if you drink a wine that has a lot of acid in it, it'll make you salivate. And so that's an indication that the wine has a lot of acid in it. Other things that are interesting, I mean, obviously the sweetness is often it's a residual sugar, but sometimes that can also be fruit. And also you can sometimes tell the alcohol because it'll burn down here and sometimes all the way into your stomach, depending on how much alcohol there is. So yeah, and then you just enjoy the wine you have.
Right, and Sarah, people look like they're chewing. And part of that is making sure that you are coating your entire palate.
But the most important thing is to actually enjoy what you're drinking. So if you don't want to do that, totally don't do it because it doesn't matter.
And then finally, savor.
All right, so savor is really asking the question, does the taste linger after you swallow? So this is your last sensory impression of wine after you swallow it. It's also known as the finish. Taste stays on the palate after swallowing, and those flavors can be quite different than when you have the wine actually in your mouth. So some terminology that you might hear would be a long finish. So those are flavors that persist 45 seconds to a minute. You know, no one really counts, but after swallowing. But generally that's considered indication of a powerful or really high quality wine. A dry white wine would be described as having a clean and a crisp finish. Aging is said to soften a finish or to make it more round. But I think the real takeaway about savoring wine is that you sort of remember it as a bookend of the experience of how you drink wine. So when you drink wine, it's from the nose to the finish.
And one of the things that came in to me in chat is about stemware. And Amy alluded to the larger bowls. And so, you know, real wine geeks have lots of different types of stemware. According to Victoria, I have far too many types of stemware, but there's always a use for them. But one of the most important things is to give yourself enough size. One of the things that happens with sparkling wine in particular is people want to always use either that little Marie Antoinette glass or a flute. But in fact, you lose some of the sensation, particularly around aromas, when you do that. So don't feel bad about using a large glass, and you're going to get, and you don't have to fill it all the way. That's the other thing. So this is this was a 5-ounce pour, sans one sip. So you can see that there's a lot of extra glass there. So before we turn you over to all of our winemakers, one last question for the two of you. And Amy, I'll let you tackle this one first. What would be your one piece of advice to people as they begin or travel along their wine journey?
I would say like many people, and I've been in the business for only 10 years now, but still 10 years. I'm still intimidated and sometimes turned off when it comes to talking shop, when it comes and enjoying wine. So, when I like something that I drink, I say things like, yum, that's delicious. Tell me more about it. I think for me, what excites me and interests me most about wine are the stories behind it. So whether that's a special vineyard, the family ownership, or something about the winemaker. So I think a focus of mine is really kind of discarding the high barrier to entry in this business. And that's both financially in the US, you don't have to spend a lot of money to drink a delicious wine. And then definitely the pressure to speak a certain language with respect to technical knowledge or, poetic, tasty notes. I think it's really important to ask questions. It's okay to say things like, I don't know. So I really recommend like a beginner's mind approach when it comes to wine. And I think the less you know, the more you'll learn and enjoy.
Okay, Sarah.
I totally agree with Amy. You should just drink the things that you really love. And it doesn't really matter if they're expensive or they're not expensive. And it doesn't matter anyone else's opinion on if they're good or not good, because realistically, wine is all about community and the people that you drink it with and the happiness that it provides you. So if you're not getting that from the wine, then it's a bust. So yeah, just drink the things you like and talk to the people that make you happy.
Yeah, and I think that, Amy and Sarah are both extremely knowledgeable about wine, but why the three of us have become such close friends is we share an excitement about sharing with one another, sharing our wine, sharing questions, exploring things together. And so I would encourage everybody, ask a lot of questions. And if you can, rather than going into, if you want to try something new, rather than going into Whole Foods, go into your local wine shop. Chances are that somebody in there knows a little something. And also, just so you know, everybody who signed up for this, the Wine Industry Network put together something called and Amy was involved in that endeavor, our Noble Grapes cheat sheet. And so what that is it's the Noble Grapes are the easiest way to say it, they're the most popular varietals, red and white varietals. And so if you like Cabernet, you would like X, Y, and Z. So this is a real easy way to begin to expand your wine horizons. So we want to, we will share that as our reunion gift to all of you, because you couldn't come to campus and get swag. We will send, at least for our little event here, we'll send you a little virtual swag. With that, we are going to, we see we're going to have more time for breakouts, so that's great. But I would like for what we do for every one of these. Thank you, Laurel. I'll send you two of them. I'll send you one in black and white and one in color, because I love swag too. But as is tradition, whenever we finish one of our presentations, as Brent and I did last night, oh, Ron, good to class of 56, college. Yes, so Ron's family has been in the wine business longer than anyone in New York City. So they are a real establishment in the wine world of New York City. So good to have you with us, Ron. So we will do what we always do, and that is to toast our audience and our fellow wine lovers. So from all of us to all of you, happy drinking, and most importantly, congratulations on the milestone. Be safe, be healthy. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to either Thandi or Ashley. Oh, you're getting the prompt down below. Join a breakout room. So head out, bring your wine glass, bring your questions, bring your checkbooks or credit cards. So a lot of these guys have really great wine clubs or special wine offers for alumni. So by all means, go and enjoy. Happy reunion.
Bye.
Winemakers, go to your breakouts.
How do we do this?
If you go down the bottom of your screen, you'll see breakout rooms, and one of those has your name on it.
I don't see that.
Who's asking the question?
Peter Hebert.
It's
Oh,
Peter Hebert.
Peter. Hey, Peter, how are you? Ken.
Hey, Ken,
See.
Yeah.
You can pick any breakout room.
but where are the choices?
Down at the bottom of your screen, there's a little icon. If you put your cursor down, there's breakout rooms.
I don't have breakout rooms. I have mute.
Maybe it's under more. Do you see where it says more?
More, yes, yes.
Click that
Okay,
and you'll get joined breakout.
got it. So look under chat or recorded.
Breakout room.
There's no breakout room here.
No. You know, Peter,
Yes.
I can put you in one. If you have a preference to go to one over the other, I can put you in one.
I'd like
So-
to go to Amy's if that's possible.
Amy's not doing a breakout, but she'll pop in wherever you are.
Okay.
Out where you are.
Now, I ultimately have some questions for her, but
Okay, we'll find out where you got put. And Jennifer, yours is the third breakout room.
yeah, it doesn't show breakout rooms. Sorry.
Okay, I'll put you in one, Peter. Don't worry.
Oh,
All right.
and Eric?
Jennifer, I just put you in yours.
Okay, great. Peter, how are
Okay,
you?
Peter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter, did you get a prompt that says go to a room? There you go.
No, it does not.
Okay, so
It says chat or record on this computer.
okay, so Peter,
Oh, wait a minute. I just got an invitation here.
yay. Okay,
Yeah, from Brent.
all right. Good.
There you go.
okay.
There you go.
All right, so I will join.
Okay.
Yes. Ken, do you want me to place you somewhere?
No, I mean I'm going to move around. I mean, if you want to troubleshoot folks who are looking to how to figure out how
Okay.
to get to a breakout.
Okay. All right. Ken Len, do you want me to put you somewhere? Oh, he just went somewhere. Okay.
Is that pretty?
Peter, he's looking at the phone.
Who's Gary?
Say that again.
Oh, Ken Tomashiro. Put Ken in Sweetser Cellars. Michael Fogelman.
I got that, Ashley.
Okay.
That looks like
Yeah.
and a couple of others. We got Gina's son. If you want to just start putting folks,
Yeah.
you know, and I'd start from the bottom up so that people, the
Okay.
breakouts that are lower down get folks that populate.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Cynthia, do you want to go somewhere?
Sure.
All right. Well, you're a good sport. I'm gonna put you. Ooh, in this one. That's a good one. All right. There you go. Beam you up.
Hey, Ken, so we can actually just migrate between rooms. I can't hear you. I'll ask you.
That's because Victoria still has a landline and it started ringing. So I muted myself. Yeah, so I'm going to move around, pop in and say hi to everybody.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to one of the
Ken,
unpopulated rooms.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Ashley and Eric, thank you. I hope this worked. for you
Thank you. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
guys. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna pop in and see some folks.
Okay.